Welcome back to another Wrath of the Righteous video. I'm Artie. Today is a build video talking about Daeran. He is an odd one. For most videos, as you guys have seen if you've watched my other ones, I usually do a little bit of twist on things with their classes and whatnot. But for Daeran, we're going to go just straight Oracle. I like getting all those spells in there, getting the final revelations at the end. And plus, like I say, on core difficulty, you can stick most of the time with the same classes that are given to you with the companions. And this is an example of that, I guess. So let's get started. So the first time you get Daeran, he's level 3. So he's an Oracle, of course. Because of channeling. As you can see, don't forget about proficiencies here. You can put them in light armor and medium armor. There's a lot of armors in the game that give good bonuses and whatnot, just besides, armor class. There's a lot of nice little perks you can find and stuff. Then of course he's life. You see we get all these free spells here for each level. So as soon as we're able to get level 6 spells, we get heal for free. So we don't have to pick those. Then you'll see for the final revelation, obviously this is very late game. You become immune to bleed, death attacks, exhaustion, fatigue, nausea, negative levels, and sickened effects. We also add Lord Nature to her class skills. And then each time we get the spell levels, we get all the cure light, cure mass. We get those for free, so we don't have to pick those either, because we do get those for free. And then he takes, at level 3, he takes safe curing. Whenever you cast a spell that cures a target of hit point damage, you do not provoke attacks opportunity. So you can get up close, cure somebody, cure light wounds, and you won't get an attack opportunity like you normally would. And he also takes selective channel, and he takes extra channel. That's acceptable, I guess. Getting some channels for the AoE healing. You don't have to worry about healing the bad guys because we have selective. And we get an extra 2 times per day. So let's get started with level 4 here. And we're going to put most of our stuff into charisma here. That's what he's casting with. And he's a very charismatic guy. Like I say, for everything, for the skill points, pick what you want best for your team. Normally what I do is I keep them lore religion all the way up. So, I catch lore religion up, and then I just keep going with his persuasion, and then I usually take a UMD, use magic device as well. So first, the spells for level 4, I go through these, and also in the descriptions, I'll have a Google sheet that has everything on there, and I list what spells I take each level as well. So they're not set in stone. Obviously, you can customize it how you like, but this is what I like to take in the timing. So first, I take a line weapon. Early game, we want to get rid of some of that damage reduction. And then here you'll see they changed a bit on the retraining. So now you could take some levels, and then you take mythic ranks in the middle, whereas before I was just doing the mythic ranks at the end. So what we'll do is it locks the mythic ranks for you until you're a certain level. So I'll just take my levels as I normally would, and then as soon as I'm able to take a mythic rank, I'll take that mythic rank. That's their suggested level that you would be when you get the mythic rank. So that makes pretty good sense. I find myself, because I usually play with shared XP off, so I'm usually a level or quite a few levels ahead of what this suggestion is here. But if you want to leave everything shared, you should be right in this ballpark of character levels for these. So we'll stick to how they suggest it. Level 5, do your skills how you want to have them. All right, and then Mythic feat here. So we're not going to just make him a heal bot. Obviously, he does very good at healing. That's what he's made to do. But for an oracle, we do get some attack spells. So I like to have that option open for us. So I'm gonna take spell pen. You know, that's the first level that we have to get through to be able to hit the bad guy. Here I take remove fear. And here I take protection from alignment. I didn't used to take this too much, but they did a little change. And it doesn't say it in this description, but whenever you pick which alignment you want to protect yourself against, they added that it prevents mind affecting spells on you. So I'll show that at the end just so you know we have it up here. Because unfortunately I can't get out of this to show you the spells until I'm completely leveled up. But yeah, that's a nice addition. Not to mention, you know, you get some protections here. It wasn't all that great, but I like that mind affecting. All right, so we got level 6. And same as always, take what you selected. This one here, I really like Archon's Aura. And actually, you know, I like to heighten this to different class levels when we are spell levels when we get to it, because this is really good penalty. And we tried to keep Daeran close to the action, but far enough away that, you know, he's not going to be a target. So we can get those -2 penalties on the bad guys. I really like this spell. All right, level 6, taking our Mythic feat, and here we're going to go for boundless healing. The quality of life here is you can cast your cure spells with reach, so you don't have to go up and touch them. You can stand back and you have them in a close proximity, because normally they're touch, so they'll be moved to close. The other part, which is the powerful part to me, is the amount of hit points is now that's restored depends entirely on your caster level and disregards any limits on the original spell. So normally, like, I think Cure Light Wounds is 1d6 or 1d8 plus 1 per caster level, but it's only max of +5. And if we're a level 20 Oracle, it would still be 1d8 plus 5. But now that we have this, it'll be 1d8 plus 20. Because we're keeping Oracle the whole way. So that makes your heals powerful all the way through. I really like that. And keeps you safe. All right, level 7. Get your skills. And then here we're continuing to focus on that spell pen. Really like to get spell pen as early as possible. So many enemies in this game have spell resist. All right, here, the first one I like to take is a spirit boost. Whenever you're healing a target at maximum HP, you get they get temporary hit points. So if you heal them past max, that part that was past their max health isn't wasted. They get temporary hit points, and it's only a max up to your Oracle level at the time. So there is a limit on it. You can't just keep healing somebody and keep giving them temp HP. But it is good that you're not wasting heals. All right, level 7. At this point here, I think we've got basically what we want for first level spells. And the only other thing I really like is Unbreakable Heart, but we're gonna get that for free pretty soon, and it's not a make or break. Gives you a +4 morale to saving bonus against mind affecting. So if you get like a damp here, you know, inflict light wounds or something. But yeah, just take what you like out of here. All right, and here we're gonna get some offense. We got some, you know, restoration lesser. We get some buffs. We got some heals. Go ahead and get us a little bit of offense. And that's how we're generally going to do it. We're going to generally get in our heals are coming for free of curse spells, and then we want to get our buffs, and then we'll add on some damage on top of that. And that's kind of how I prioritize his actions in the fight. If anyone's low, needs healing, he's there. We're usually buffing before the fight if it's not surprised, and then if he doesn't need to do any of those, then he can do some damage. So level here, we're going to do resist energy communal. This is really good. You know, this is get a resist energy 10 to whichever one you pick: acid, cold, electricity, fire, sonic. And it goes up to, I think, +30 or maximum of 30. Yeah. So actually here we got it at 7th level, so we're doing, it's basically DR 20 for whatever School of Magic, or not School of Magic, but Element of Magic. So we're taking our next Mythic rank, going with our theme here, any healing stuff that's really important to us, and I think Mythic channeling is really good here. Good, so we're AoE healing, out of combat stuff. I like to use the Mythic channel. Damage you heal or deal. So when you use your Mythic channeling, or you're channeling to damage undead, the number increases by a number of points equal to twice your charisma modifier, which, you know, charisma is his thing, and we're going to be maxing that as much as we can, and we're going to be adding equipment and such that increases that a lot. So that really boosts up those channel heals and the damage to the undead. And here we go. We're going to add to charisma. And what you like here for your skills. And level 8, I like to take Death Ward first. Around here, and even quite a few levels ahead of this, there's a lot of undead, and we want to protect ourselves. You don't want to keep getting energy drain, negative levels and such. Another thing, freedom of movement, I wanted to touch on. We're going to get it later, but this will stop, because, you know, when Daeran enters a fight, he's staggered because of his curse. So, but if he has freedom of movement on it, it takes away that stagger, because freedom of movement allows you not to be staggered. So that's a cool thing, that, you know, just give him freedom of movement, and then he doesn't get that first round stagger. So he can actually make a whole full action. But I just think that the Death Ward's more important at the moment. Take your skills. Level 9. And we're going to take weapon focus. And I'm going to go Ray. A few of the, well, more than a few, probably 4 or 5, I think, of the spells we're going to use for offense are Ray. So +1 to attack are nice. And it's nice to have that option, because there's a lot of enemies in the game that have low touch AC but high regular AC, so you can help out a lot in a fight by doing that. All right, here I usually just do like bull strength, or if you want to do bear's endurance, eagle splendor. Bull strength's a pretty safe bet for me, though. And then I go delay poison at level 3. And then here we do the protection from energy communal. So now we have resist energy communal and protection from energy communal that stack with each other. So I like to have those on when I get to a battle, or I know there's something that's going to cast fire, electric, whatever. All right, Mythic. And here I'm going to go with a second mystery, actually. And I pick Ancestry. And you see, so we're going to get some more free spells. And, you know, this is where we're getting that Unbreakable Heart. You know, I said at level 1, that's probably the only other one that I'd really recommend. Well, not recommend, but that I usually pick up. But, I mean, we got See Invisibility here, Heroism that we couldn't even get, Crusader's Edge, which is awesome. Burst of Glory, True Seeing, which is really good. We got Foresight and Prediction of Failure there at the end. And then the Final Revelation, you know, we're adding our will bonus saving throws equal to our charisma modifier. And then we get Blind Sense and +4 to your caster level for all divination spells, which we're not really using for offense, but, you know, it's a plus. And then you can cast Foresight as a spell-like ability once per day. So not only is it a 9th level spell, we'll be able to use it as a regular action, not only as a spell, once per day, which is really, really cool. And then you see here, adds the Oracle with the Ancestor Mystery adds all knowledge and lore skills to their list of class skills. So if you had one of those as your skills you were using him for, that'd be a good option. All right, level 10. And level 10, I really take Life Bubble first. There's some mind fogs that enemies put on you, things like that. And this Life Bubble, you know, will eliminate that. You're not going to get that negative will saving throws and stuff. But I really like this spell. Lasts for an hour. Eventually it'll be 24, eventually be 24. Near the end, but this is a good spell. Good buff to have. When you need it and you don't have it, you really wish you had it. Let's just put it that way. Level 11, our feat here. I go with Meta Magic Heighten. So this is what I talked about with our Archon's Aura. And you can use it on any spell. But basically, Archon's Aura, you know, here, it's a 3rd level spell. So you can change it to be, if you wanted to cast it at 4th level, and the DC that it has built into it will increase as a 4th level spell instead of a 3rd level spell. So it increases that DC a little bit. So it keeps that spell relevant all the way to the end of the game. Obviously, you have to use it at a cast of a higher level, but I think it's worth it. I really like that spell. And then here I go for Spirit of the Warrior. So you gain a +4 enhancement bonus to Strength, Dex, and Con. This is going to help if you're hitting with those race spells, because you're upping your dexterity. +4 natural bonus to AC. That's a good plus. Our AC is not really anything to write home about, so that +4 is not really going to help us live in most cases. Then your base attack bonus while possessed equals your Oracle level. Any weapon you're dealing gains cane enhancements. The part that we really care the most about is, you know, it's adding that strength, dex, and con to help us hit with phrase spells if we need it. Level 2, At this point, I would say whatever you feel you need out of here would be the best as you're playing through what you're feeling you want to have. You need to find more traps. You don't have anyone that's finding a lot of traps or whatever. I usually like remove paralysis. I usually use scrolls and whatnot to do it, but I have this spot open that there's nothing super important that I think's there, so I like to take that now. All right, and now level 3, I'd like to take Searing Light. Again, it's a ranged touch attack. Deals damage. On dead. Deals up to 10d6. Yeah, so it's just another option for offense. And then here, we're doing another offense, is Order's Wrath. Do this now, and then I'll do Freedom of Movement later. The good thing about Order's Wrath, you know, it's enemies only, so not going to destroy your own people. And let's keep with the theme and go for another offense. So Flame Strike. Now we just picked up quite a few fire offensive spells, and we have a mythic level coming up. So really want to get those to go through instead of having, you know, DR10 or DR20, whatever the bad guy has against fire. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our mythic ability. We're going to go send an element fire. And that way it bypasses any immunities that the bad guys have or resistances. So all those fire damage spells that we're doing are going to go through like they have 0 resistances or 0 immunities. Level 12, we're sticking with our charisma, sticking with the skills that you wanted. All right, level 12. First, I like to do Greater Dispel Magic. There's a lot of good stuff in level 6 spells, that's for sure. However, I like Dispel Magic because there's a lot of stuff, a lot of buffs on the enemies that can really screw you over, but you can dispel them. And we're sticking with him in Oracle the whole way, so his caster level is pretty high. Well, as high as it can be, really, to dispel those off of the bad guys. This really helps when you're in those levels. All right, level 13. Get them skill points. And now we're going to focus on that. You notice all of the offensive spells that we got with him are evocation. So we're going to go spell focus, evocation, and get those DCs up. A lot of those offensive spells, they can save for half damage, so just make it a little bit harder for them. And now we're going to get freedom of movement. And this is not as important as it was in Kingmaker, but I still really like that. I like freedom of movement. Here and now, you can do a raise dead if you like. I usually try to use Breath of Life. Somebody dies, try to cast that immediately, so you can cast them up within 2 rounds. Or like I do, I usually buy a few scrolls so I have some on hand. But I usually pick up Break Enchantment here. A lot of the things that are holding you down, hold person, stuff like that, you know, fall into this category where you can break them out of it. And the other cool one here is Blade Barrier. This thing is you can stack it before a fight. pull the mob and then to have the mob run through them all, and these will do some damage, let me tell you. If you have this cast on you, you will know it. That's for sure. So this is a cool spell. It's like a space control kind of. All right, level 14. All right, level 14. And we got, this is where I usually take Resurrection. It's costing us 2 diamonds, as you can see here, but we're not getting all those penalties that we would from Raised Dead. I really wish it would show here the free spells that we got when we're exiting here, but it doesn't, unfortunately. All right, Mythic 5. And here we're doing Enduring. So we got quite a few buffs. I want to make them last. Now this is pretty late. Usually people are getting Enduring really early. But like I said, I want to focus on those healings. I think this is important because if we don't get this, this is relatively early. Those fire damage spells don't really have much of an impact, I feel. And Ancestors are really good. Second mystery here, so unfortunately it pushes our Enduring spells back, but that's okay. We can make do. We got big brains. All right, here we're going greater spell focus now. Making sure that what we're casting on the bad guys, those DCs are going up. All right, and then here I go with Combat Healer. You cast a Cure spell. You cast it as a switch. You can cast it as a swift action by expending 2 spell slots. So basically, if you really need to get some healing on somebody, you can spend 2 spells of that level to cast as a swift action, and then cast another cure spell or damage spell in the same round if you need to. Good emergency button. Good emergency button, I think. Level 15 here, we're going with, let's go with some spell resistance first. You know, all these bad guys, they like to have spell resistance on them. Damn it. Let's get some spell resistance on us. It helps out quite a bit, I think. I'm going to do some more damage here. We had that Blade Berry of space control mostly. We had healing, some True Seeing. Get us some damage in there. Hellfire Ray. And then here, as far as I would say, these, so they have all these archiment, I don't know, blasphemy. The problem is they're HD limited, and a lot of enemies in this game on core, hard, their level is so high it's surpassed our caster level, so they're not even going to do anything to them. So I don't like to pick those up. That's why I mean, they do some cool stuff if we could find enemies that are at our caster level, but I find that the enemies are far above our caster level at the time we fight them. So here I just pick a summon monster. Which kind of seems like a waste, but just give us some offense. And that level of summon monster is pretty good. And then here we're gonna go with Greater Enduring. We're gonna pick us the Mythic Feat ability and get our Greater Enduring. Now anything that lasts more than 5 minutes is gonna last 24 hours. You see, we got quite a few casts of stuff, and that'll change a little bit, but that way we're not spending so many casts all the time before we have to rest on our buffs. All right, get that charisma, pick up them skills. Hello? Oh, I thought I clicked it. And then here, only one lonely spell, but it's a really good one. Holy Aura. This thing is crazy. And when we're wanting to cast it in combat, obviously it's only lasting one round per level. But it gives. I mean, it's crazy. All the stuff it gives. Protecting the cast by granting that spell resistance to spells cast by evil creatures. You know, everything that is attacking us is evil, damn near anyway. And causes them to come blinded when they strike with objects. Four effects in this one aura. Warded creature gains 4 deflection bonus, plus 4 resistance to saves. It doesn't matter about the descriptor of what they're doing as long as the creature is evil. Second, each warded creature gains spell resistance 25 against evil spells. Or spells cast by evil creatures. Third, the protection. Oh man. Protects from attempts to dominate and charm. And then finally, if an evil creature succeeds at a melee attack against a warded creature, the offending attacker is blinded. I mean, it's crazy. This is a lot in one spell. It is awesome. All right, so we got our Mythic here. And now we're just going to, our last, well, not our last, but these 3 in a row, we're going to increase our castings. So we're going to go Abundant, Improved Abundant, and Greater Abundant to get 4 more casting levels of 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 5th, 6th, 7th, or 7th, 8th, and 9th. I'll show you here. As you can see, look, our casts per day skyrocketed. All right, get them skills. All right, 17. Now, I like to do, because as we're getting in these late, see, we're casting 8th level spells. Unfortunately, these late levels, we don't get good, evocation offensive spells. So what I like to do is use some meta magic here to be able to add some lower level evocation spells. You know, in this case, we're going to use Empower, and it's going to increase their casting level by 2, but it's going to be the whatever we roll times 1.5 for the damage. So Empower is really good. In short, what were we looking at? Spells. And here we're going to go the 7th level. You know, such a shame, in my opinion, in the 7th level. It hurts me a little bit. But Waves of Ecstasy, I think, is probably the best. Next best one here. It's a cone, so we have to watch out for our people, but it's not like totally useless. But it is, we have to keep in mind it is a mind affecting spell. So, and then we're gonna do Angelic Aspect Greater. Some people thinking, why haven't you taken this? Or why haven't I taken Angelic Aspect? It is really good. But I just think there was other things important at the time. So, but I will definitely take Angelic Aspect. It is a very good spell. All right, and we got a Mythic rank here. And as we said, we're going to take an extra Mythic ability, and we're going to get some more castings. You can see here now 4, 5, and 6 jumped up And we got another mythic rank here from their suggestion. And that's just going to be greater abundant casting. So now you can see all of these castings, and we don't have the 9th level yet, but we will in a minute. But we have a ton of castings per day, and our buffs are less than 24 hours. So we're going to have a lot of opportunity to use cure spells and our, whatever, it doesn't matter. And our damage spells. All right. So this vast suggestion of 9th level, or not suggestion, but selection of 9th level spells. It's so many here. It's hard to figure out what we want to get. But the first one I want to get is Winds of Vengeance. It's a personal buff. We get a fly speed. Ooh. Basically, we're giving ourselves total concealment against range attacks. It could hit you in a melee attack. And it's kind of like blows them apart, either blows them back or down. And does a little bit of damage. We're actually going to get heal mass anyway for free. So there's no reason to get that. So in this vast selections here, we're just gonna pick the wins. 19, get your skills you want. And here, since all those things were fire, we're gonna help those DCs again with elemental focus fire. Keep those saving throws. Okay, here I take Blood of the Heroes. So we can use up our move action. So we could still cast something that's not like a full round or whatnot. And we can give somebody a +1 morale. Well, it would be a +3 because we're past level 14th. But anyway, we give a morale bonus on attack rolls, damage rolls, and will saving throws against fear for a number of rounds equal to our charisma bonus, and at this point our charisma bonus is really high. So we're giving it to him for quite a few rounds. And you can see he can use his ability once per day, +1 additional time per day at 5th level, and every 5 level there's after. So we got a few casts of this before we have to rest. Very good options. We like to give ourselves options in fights. Everything's an opportunity cost. If you do something, you can't do something else. Or you're not doing something else, I guess I should say. All right, here we're going to take Firestorm. Another evocation fire. Thing you have to worry about this is a very big circle. And you can... I thought I was hitting my people with this. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Anyway, it's a very, very big circle. It's medium range, and if you put it at the very edge, it's barely at your feet. So this is a huge circle of fire that you're going to cast out. All right, and then now here I take Overwhelming Presence. I guess we can finally start using that 36 persuasion that I've been leveling up this whole time. Basically, it's around you. You can try to frighten the enemies, and then if the creature recovers from the spell early after being affected, it takes 1d6 points of Wisdom drain and is staggered for 1d4 rounds, which is really cool. But Overwhelming Presence really fits Daeran. They drop to their knees and like, oh, master. Definitely something he would love. All right. Very end of the game, we're here. Level 10, Mythic rank. And I take Sorceress Reflex. As I've said in others, I like this. As long as you're casting spontaneously, you can use this. Basically, at your first round of a combat, you can use any spell that's 2 levels lower than your max spells. So at level 9, we can cast level 9 spells. We can cast anything level 1 to level 7 as a swift action in the first round. Really, really good. Like it a lot. And our final level. And here, I don't go charisma. See, we're already at a even number. So I usually just, give them another 20 hit points. If you want to get some more skill points, you can see it that skyrockets. Or you want to give them some more strength, But it's the end of the game. I want to do that, so I just figure try to keep him alive as much as I can. He can't heal if he's not alive. All right, and then here I would say either go with energy drain, and you see it has heal mass, but we have an 8th level spell heal mass, so I don't take it here at 9. So I usually suggest energy drain or just do another summon monster. We're not focused to cold damage, so that's why we don't do. Well, I don't do Polar Midnight, but I usually just pick up another summon monster. And we get our final revelations, which is crazy good. You can see from that our will save went through the roof. So Daeran, as I've always said, you can take the class that they give you for the companion and take them all the way to 20 and you will do fine in core. Don't let anybody tell you different. Keep your options open. You create ways to get through encounters. The encounters are not impossible. You can find a way through it. But Daeran, he's a very polarizing person. He's a polarizing character. People usually either love him or they do not like him at all. Personally, I think he's funny. I like him. He's neutral evil, so he talks about some crazy stuff. Sometimes it's a bit dark. And like I said, if you know anything about Daeran, he is an odd one. All right, guys, in the description below, I will have that Google Sheet, have everything on there I showed on screen and I talked about. If there's anything you guys needed, comments down below. Like the video, really helps us out. And I will see you in the next one. You guys have a good one. And thank you for watching.